All right, so this is the recipe. You're gonna need 2 cups of rice, 2 cups of water plus 2 3/4 cups of water, a tablespoon of roasted garlic red pepper seasoning, a tablespoon of chili powder. In a pot, a medium pot, you'll put the water and the roasted garlic red pepper seasoning and the chili powder. Once the water comes to a boil, you're going to put the rice in and stir it till it's evenly layered on the bottom of the pot. And you're going to put a lid on it and turn it down to low for 40 minutes. During that time, you're going to chop up 1 onion, 6 cloves of garlic, half a green pepper, half a red pepper, frozen vegetables, and put them into their respective bowls. Once the rice is done, you're going to put it on the back burner and let it just sit there, okay? Then you're going to get your 1 pound of ground meat. You're going to brown it in the frying pan until it's completely brown. It may take a little while, depending on how high you have the heat setting. Once the meat is brown, you're going to add in, you can add in, if you want, 2 tablespoons of butter, or you don't have to. You could just add in the onions, the garlic, the red pepper, and the green pepper, and let it fry together until it starts making a really nice aroma and the onions start to look a little translucent. Then once that happens, usually I use butter so that it kind of like goes together. The butter will just make everything soft and, fry perfectly, and the texture just is so good and the smell is amazing. So after you're done doing that, and the green pepper, the onion, the garlic, the red pepper, and the meat is all like, cooking, then you're going to add in the frozen vegetables. Then you're going to let the frozen vegetables heat up in there until they're completely cooked with the meat, the onion, the garlic, the red pepper, the green pepper. And you're going to mix this really, really well together, okay? Very, very well. Once it's completely mixed together, you add in 4 eggs. And you crack them in there. You put the 4 eggs in there, and then you mix it around until the egg is completely scrambled. Once the egg is completely scrambled and no longer wet and soggy, then you can start putting in the rice. I would suggest doing a spoonful at a time of the rice so that the rice doesn't, get overwhelming and then it spill. So just put it in a spoonful at a time, mixing it together, making sure it's working in completely. And then as soon as everything's all mixed together properly, then you can put in the sesame seed oil and the soy sauce. And then you mix that very, very well together until it's completely combined. And then you add in the barbecue sauce and the ketchup, and you mix that completely together, completely combined together. Once that happens, you turn off the heat, you take it off the element, you put it on a cold element, and you start serving it because it's completely done and it's perfect, and your family's going to love it. When Johnny got home, he said that it smelled like tacos in the house. And then when he went outside and came back in, now it smells like wonton soup. He said it smells amazing in here. And I made it so good that even my boys will eat it, even though they don't like veggies, but they'll eat it because they don't even taste the veggies because of the way I make it. I suggest if you have little ones that don't like vegetables or anything healthy, like greens and things like this, I would do what I'm doing. I would chop it up and completely until it's like a puree, and then I would mix it into whatever meal I'm making and put lots of different sauces in there so they can't taste it. I like to do it this way because they can never taste what I put in there. It just tastes like fried rice and they love it. They'll just eat it completely. Yum, yum, done, you know? And so this is the best recipe for like something low budget. Rice isn't that much. Rice isn't very expensive. Neither is one green pepper and one red pepper. Frozen vegetables aren't that expensive. Onion and garlic isn't that expensive. I usually do these things in bulk, the ground meats, and then I'll put them in the freezer and I'll use them throughout the week for different things. I thought this was the perfect little recipe, just bing, bang, boom, done. It didn't take too long to make. It took an hour for the prepping and then about 25 minutes to cook completely. The longest thing was the rice because I had to wait for it to completely finish cooking. The rice was 40 minutes, but the prepping time is about an hour for the vegetables if you're like me and you chop slow so you don't cut yourself. The prep time wasn't that bad. Usually it takes me a lot longer, but I started early so that it would be done right on time. And I was right on time. As soon as Johnny walked in the door, I finished it. So it was done. I already served it in the bowls and everybody could just come and eat. And I hope that if you do use my recipe that you also find that it's very convenient and your children will love it, even though there's lots of vegetables in there. It's very healthy, and they'll like it because they can't even taste it. Like that's mostly why I put barbecue sauce and ketchup in there, is because they can't taste the vegetables when you do that. And same with the sesame seed oil and the soy sauce. It kind of just blends together and all you really taste is the rice and the egg. And so that's what I usually do. I just do this. I literally puree the vegetables completely, and then I mix them in with the fried rice, or pasta meat sauce that I make, or meat pie. When I make a meat pie, I'll do the same thing if I have frozen vegetables. I bought 3 different kinds of frozen vegetables so that I would have them for a little while, because I only use like half a bag each time I use it, so that it'll last quite a while, right? So that was the point of doing that. And you can just puree it like this. Like, it doesn't take much unless you have a food processor, which I don't. But if you do, then it takes no time at all. Literally, it takes me an hour because I have to do it by hand. But if you have a food processor, it's probably going to take a lot less time. You know what I mean? And I know you guys see me do this quite often, like with different foods and whatnot. And I'm pretty sure that you guys are wondering, like, how do I just chop it all up? Well, when it's frozen, it's much easier to chop than when it's not frozen, if that makes any sense. It kind of like just breaks apart and turns into like little pieces, you know what I mean? Like it's very easy when they're frozen. That's why it only takes about an hour for me to do it. If it was not frozen, it would probably take me a lot longer, considering I would have to make sure that they're small pieces and not just mushed, you know. I like it frozen. Honestly, the frozen vegetables is much easier to handle, and it's much easier to do this kind of stuff with it. It's much easier. I find it's way better like this. So, yeah, if I was you, I'd use frozen vegetables and I'd just chop them up if you don't have a food processor. It does take some time and energy, but you know, it's not that bad. It's really delicious when it's done, and your kids are gonna eat a lot of vegetables, and they ain't even gonna know it. uh, uh, I love doing that. I love hiding vegetables in their food. They don't even know. They don't even know. And my husband really likes it too because it just adds to the textures and flavors, the different vegetables that I use in different recipes and whatnot. I thought that this was the perfect little dinner for tonight, and it's probably not even going to last the whole night. They're probably not even going to be enough for tomorrow. It's probably going to be all gone tonight because I made it so good. Usually Johnny has 2 bowls when I make it this good, so yeah. And it's only 2 cups of rice, so it's not like it's a whole lot of rice. You know, that goes by pretty quick, especially in a house with a teenager boy that's eating like so much all the time. And a husband who really loves food. He loves my food. I can't describe it. He just yum yum, eats it all up, you know. It's all gone. So good. And now I'm about to switch the view so that you guys can see me fry it in the frying pan. The meat was still frozen, even though I pulled it out last night. It should have been defrosted, but whatever. I did what I did, and you know, I rolled with it, and it worked out. You know, it worked out. The meat browned just perfectly. It only took 10 minutes for the meat to brown, which was nice. I think the hardest part of this was putting the rice in there after all of the other ingredients were in the frying pan, because it was just kind of difficult, you know, like with all that stuff in there, and I already just stood for like an hour chopping, so it was kind of I don't know, I get tired from standing too long, so that's why I'm sitting now and resting a little bit. But I still just really, really love making food for my family. And it's one of the greatest joys I have in my home. Like, even though I can't eat solids and my family gets to eat all the delicious things that I make, I still enjoy doing it just to see the looks on their faces and hear the pleasure and satisfaction in their voices while they're eating my food, you know? And honestly, I can smell how delicious my food is. I don't necessarily need to taste it to know that it was really, really good. You know what I mean? Anyway, this part of the cooking process was quite fast because it doesn't take as much time to do it as soon as everything's in the pot. You know what I mean? Like, you put the meat in, you brown it, then you put in the onions, the garlic, the red pepper, the green pepper. You make sure that they're all mixed together completely. Then you add in the frozen vegetables, and then you add in the 4 eggs. You scramble the eggs with everything else, completely combine it. Then you add in the rice, and then you add in the sauces and the oils, and then you just mix it all together, and then you serve it, and it's done. So it didn't take much time. It took like not that much time at all. And I was really, really happy that once it was all done, chopped, and everything was ready to go, and you know, things of this nature, that it would just bing, bing, boom, it's done, and I could just serve it. Everybody's happy. Everybody has enough food that if they want more afterwards, there's enough for seconds. And it's a good, easy, simple recipe for fried rice, but it's so good. It's the best, okay? That's what I'm saying. This recipe is the best because you will get your kids to eat vegetables. Like full-on vegetables. They'll be eating lots of different things. They don't even know that I put those in there. You know what I mean? Like, I put in cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, and like red pepper, green pepper, as you guys know, and garlic and onion. And they're eating all of that. And they don't even know that they're eating it. That's the thing. It's like a mother cheat for like getting your kids to eat things that they don't like. Well, they say they don't like, but they'll eat it in this and they like it just fine. That's what I mean. They don't even know. It's like a secret, okay? If you guys want to get your kids to eat all the things that you know that they need for their growing bodies and their brains, then you need to mix it up inside of food so they don't know what they're eating. And they'll eat it with a happy grin on their face and say it's so good, but they're really eating all the things they say they ate. And they take and pick out when it's like, chunks, and they can see it. When they can't see it, they'll eat it. When they do see it, they won't. But that's the hilarity of this, that it's a mom cheat. I did it. Yep. That's the last bit of it. Ketchup, and then I mix it all together completely and make sure that it's all perfectly combined. And then it's all done. It's completely done once it's combined. It took me a little bit to mix it together, but yeah, didn't take that long to make, to be honest. And here's the beautiful afterwards. Look at this. Deliciousness. Enjoy.